Hello, my friends. Today we're checking out some Dig Dog on the Switch, which I've been playing for about 15 minutes now, so I know what's going on. I want to take a look at Dig Dog because it has a very interesting story behind it. So first off, it's a roguelike platformer, and your goal is to play as this dog and find the bone in the level, and the bone is randomly generated each time. There it is, you grab it, you go. That's pretty much it. There's shopkeeps that you can find. Some of the enemies have gold in them, like you saw just there, and you use that to buy items, stuff that attracts coins, stuff that makes your bark valuable. Doesn't really do much like that. Other stuff like that. But yeah, it's about going as far as you can go. And when you die, you start over. Oh boy, wow. Where's the instant replay on that one? So like I said, this story has this game has an interesting story behind its development. The developer suffers from a repetitive strain injury. This is the oh boy. All right, dude. No, you only get 2 hits. The developer has a repetitive strain injury, and that, oh boy, makes it hard for him to develop games, because when you're developing games, obviously you're going through a lot of typing, and you're going through a lot of repetitive motions with the mouse. Not surprising. I mean, my hands kill me after running Go Nintendo for like, 17 years now, plus playing video games in general for much longer than that. So there's days where, like, this has happened for years, like a hand will go numb because I have like a death grip on a controller or something like that, and I'm like, oh god, come on. And I've looked into it and everything's been taken care of, blah 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 blah. But yeah, sometimes I get that ache, that pain, and I'm sure there's some people watching this who do too, who work, office jobs and whatever, just, repetitive motions of sitting at the computer and doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. It causes problems. And the developer of this game was having those problems, but his passion is making games. I'm not sure if it's how he earns his living, like his day-to-day living, but he certainly aims to make some money from it. But he gets joy out of creating games. So he, when he realized this was going on with his body, he was obviously a little upset because, oh boy, he thought he was going to have to stop making games, and he gave it some thought, and that just wasn't an option for him. So he set out to figure out a way that he could continue making games, and I forgot I can do that faster, and not have to risk any more injury to his hands or whatever it may be. And he found a really interesting way. The majority of this game, or pretty much I guess all of it, is developed using his voice. He set up a very specific way of writing code with just his voice, and as you might expect, writing it with a keyboard is much quicker than doing with your voice, and that's still the case for him now. But he did set up like his own thing, like certain shortcuts and all that, to make the process better for him and get in the code that he needed. So now it's like a repetitive voice injury rather than stress injury for hands or something like that. But it worked for him. He sat with a microphone and spoke out all the code that he needed. And obviously, like I said, there's a lot to do with hands, with mouse movements too, and he didn't want to aggravate, he didn't want to just do the minute mouse movements and keyboard typing for most of the programming and then go back to the mouse input for other stuff. So he decided to go all out, and he had a really unique solution for utilizing his mouse. Now, I don't know, I'm going to sound completely ignorant here. I'm sure other people use something like this program, or this program exists in other places. I'm sure he didn't invent it by any means, but it's not one that I've heard of often. He was using a little special marker on his head, not like a sticker that he would put on, I think he put it on the brim of his hat, a little reflective marker, and set up a camera with his computer, and that would track his movement for his mouse. So he didn't have to use the mouse at all. He could get everything done. Oh boy. Let's grab Power Dash. No. He yeah, he could just move around his head ever so slightly to get the mouse where he needed to, and then click through other methods, which is really cool. I mean, I've seen, oh, I don't like this placement. We've seen, or I have seen, voice-activated programs for all kinds of stuff on computers, and other methods of operation for a computer with people who have disabilities, like tubes that people blow into to manipulate things on screen. There's any number of options out there. You just have to be willing to. Oh boy, this is trouble. You just have to be willing to put in the time to figure them out. And yeah, there's going to be a stumbling block at first, obviously, because you're used to using, or well, if you're trying to avoid an injury or you're dealing with an injury. For most of us, you've been using your hands to do all this work, so there's going to be a amount of time where you have to get over basically yourself and relearn how to do things. And sure, it's going to be frustrating, and it might not be as easy at first, and it may never be as easy, but you should get to a point where where it's somewhat comparable and you can get your work done, or in this case, work and play, because like I said, for the developer, it's something he loves doing, and he wasn't willing to give it up because of the limitations of his body. And obviously there's people who never had the chance to utilize their hands for anything like this, so they've had to use alternate methods to go about this stuff all their lives, and you know, they've become ridiculously proficient. There's people that play games all the time using all kinds of unique tools. Microsoft put out their special controller, oh no, for people with disabilities. That's really oh, that sucks. That's really adaptive for all different styles of play, and has add-ons and other different things to allow people to get the control or the input that they need. And I think that's so fantastic because, you know, there's all different types of people out there with all different sets of skills and ranges of body movement and all that stuff. And we need to, I'm gonna say cater to them, but that's, you know, we just need to treat them as people. They're people. They need to have options for playing. So obviously it's going to be hard to come up with something that works for everybody or implement control schemes to account for every type of person out there, but something like Microsoft's controller certainly is a step in the right direction, because there's all kinds of plug and play things that you can do to make it possible for people to play. So that stuff's cool. I thought the story behind this game and its developer was really cool. And besides all of that, I just like little simple addictive games like this. It's, you know, something that you play 5-10 minutes of and you die and you're like, oh, I didn't even see that guy. And you're like, I'm gonna give it one more try. And then, you know, an hour goes by and you're like, oh, I feel like I've wasted a lot of time on this. In a good way wasted. So, yeah, that's why I wanted to check it out. And I thought the story was really inspiring, and I wanted to help spread that message. There's a whole, it's a mini documentary. Go this way. It's a mini documentary that the developer did on YouTube to explain how he went about creating the game, and the systems that I discussed, the camera setup and all that stuff. So if you want to see like the full details on that, you can check out his video, his little mini video documentary. I will post that in the comments or in the description below, so you can check that out. Oh boy, well, this is going to be the end of the video. Hey-o! It's like 4 minutes long. It's really not anything that requires a lot of time, but well worth the time that it does require. Oh, this is going way too fast. Like I said, this, and it's me doing it. Oh my god. Alright. We're good, we're good. Oh, the bone. I didn't even see the bone. I could have just went for it. So yeah, check that out. That's it. Obviously I want to know if this game... Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. I'd like to hear if this game tickles your fancy, if you've been checking it out. If you have any similar situations, maybe you play games in a unique way because of disabilities or limitations that you have. I'd love to hear that kind of stuff, because, you know, I like to hear about people not willing to just stop because of preconceived limitations, like, you know, I can't do this the traditional way, so I can't do it at all. So let me know. Yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. It was a fun little story. It's a fun little game, and it's available on the Switch eShop right now, I believe. So if you liked it, check it out there, and I will catch you in the next video.